What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Molly. I'm here again, and this time I'm here to talk about Black Clover chapter 258. And all I have to say is greatness. Well written, well done, well drawn out. Everything has been so well with Black Clover. With Asta and Yami versus Dante, it has been done so well. Everything has been written out so well. Dante of the Dark Triad. This guy is non-stop. This man is just hungry for fighting, just hungry for war. This guy, he doesn't care about cutting his head off or anything. The Dark Triad, all three of them have been shown to be very, very powerful. Not even tier 1 and tier 0 wizards can defeat them. We talk about Yami, where Yami and Dante has been going at it since the whole arc has started. Honestly, I'm very surprised that Yami didn't put Dante away. This man Yami has progressed so much. We know Yami as a character is very jokey, very playful. He's not someone that's always serious, but he's somebody that's always looking to push past his limits. He always tell his crew, his Black Bulls, to always push past your limit, push past your limit. Get to the point where you have no choice but to break and push past to your stern, like just the end of you can go no more. No matter if you're dead, your legs cut off, doesn't matter. Yami has been that character to always push past his limits. And going against Dante, we finally get to see Yami at his full potential, his full power. Even back when he fought against the elves, he wasn't really at his full power because he didn't really train. Yami has always been that character, once again, that hasn't really cared, but this time he actually trained for this arc. And fighting Dante in this fight, he actually tells him that he's actually going to show him all his power, everything that he has, everything that he's learned over the last couple months. And this man Yami is just best character. Like, he is 100% best character and Black Clover. And if you disagree, this is debatable. You know, like, Yami has just been written so well since day one, and him and Dante, they just go at it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Dante is just not giving up. Yami has dubbed him at least 3 times in this fight. He slices him, he gets back up. He literally thrusts his sword with condensing his mana zone into his dark slash, and he condenses it into a thrust, and he literally just obliterates his whole body. The only things that's there is his arms, his head, and his kneecaps down. And he just gives Yami this menacing grin, and he just gets back together. And right there, when you think Yami beat him, this man Dante just continues to push past his limits. And from what we see, that humans that have demons, they only can go to 80%. They only can use 80% of the demon's power, because the demons are not on Earth. Like, they'll kind of like destroy their the person's body if they use too much of their power. So all of the Dark Triad, they only can use less than 80%. But Dante, we actually see him use 80%. And that's the most a human body can do. So right now, Dante is at his full power, and Yami is holding on. Yami is not backing down. That's the great thing about this. But in the last arc, we see that Yami admits, like he admits it, he cannot beat him by himself. If it was anybody else, Yami would have won. But him being a demon power human, he really can't defeat him by himself. Yami has dark magic, which is a great weakness to the demons, as we've seen in the last arc. But he really can't put him away. So he tells Asta, like, I need your help. In order to beat this guy, in order to kill him, you need to get up and you need to help me, Asta. Not only do you have anti-magic, you have a demon in you yourself. We need to work together to fight. And Yami and Asta, what a great mentor and student. They just have that connection, unlike all the other characters. And you can tell Yami sees so much of himself in Asta, and that's why you can really tell he really take Asta under his wing and really like mentor him and really give him that guidance that Asta needs to become a captain level, to become future Wizard King. And that writing between Asta and Yami has been there since day one. Yami has seen the potential in him, and he had his back since day one. And I like the fact that once again we see Yami and Asta taking down Dante together. And once again, in this arc, you see Yami literally dub him again. He throws his sword again and just rips his whole body apart again. But this man Dante, like I said, he just has such a hard on for fighting. His smile, like, it's just so, it reminds me of Hisoka a little bit. Like, it reminds me so much of Hisoka, how Hisoka wants to fight. He just loves fighting. It just, you know, it just moves his gears. And that's Dante right now. And not just Dante, it's all three of the triads. Like, Venetia, Xenon, like, they're all, like, this man went in and he wrecked William Vengeance by himself and all of the Golden Dawn, and they're all really powerful. But in this arc, you know, lately we getting more of Dante and his character, knowing that he never really cared for fighting until now, fighting against Yami and Asta. This is what he's been waiting for so long, and a lot of people has been giving it so much criticism, but Asta finally meets his demon. Well, he doesn't finally meet his demon. He actually, for the first time, actually gets to sit down and actually talk with his demon. And I have to say, it does remind me of Naruto when he meet Kurama. Like, it 100% it reminds me of when he meet him. If you didn't get those feels, then I don't know what to tell you now. It's not a copy of Naruto meeting the Nine Tails for the first time, but you get that feeling, you know, you get that same feel, and it's not a copy, but it's done very well for what Black Clover has been giving us for so much and for so long. The demon himself has been, you know, fueling and giving his power to Asta very little by little, same way with the Nine Tails. But on this time, throughout of Black Clover, the demon has never like tried to take over his body or tried to kill him or anything. There's only been once that he actually tried to take over his body, and we see in a couple chapters where Asta actually went berserk and he just lost it. But now we see him talking to the demon, and Asta wants the help, and Asta want the help from the demon, and the demon tells him, like, listen, I'll give you my power, but you too weak to take my power. Like, you're way too weak right now to really use my power. The power that I've been giving you is probably just something else. Like, this is my real power, but in order to give you this power, you have to give me something in return. And he's like, this is a devil's deal. This is what the demons, this is what they deal. In order to give you something, you have to give me something. And that part reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist, with, or in order to revive someone, you have to give something in order to get something back. And that's what we get with Asta and the demon. And we really don't get to see Asta demon talk too much. He's very non-talkative at all. I expected him to have a full conversation with Asta, and they just have, like, you know, explaining him the power and explaining to him what's his name, because from what we see, Dante's demon, Lucifer or whatever his demon name was, he tells Dante that this demon here, he's a low-ranking demon. He's basically a no-name. He's nobody compared to me. And we see that Asta, just as much as Asta wants to defeat Dante, Asta tells the demon, like, I sense that you want to beat him too. You also want to kill him. So help me help you. And like I said, the demon, he agrees. And he gives Asta his power, or a portion of his power. And compared to the first design where Asta went berserk, it's a complete different design. You can tell in this design, you can tell his arm is kind of like embedded, or it has like some type of like power surging from his arm. It's like kind of like veins. If you kind of, I don't know, can't really tell a little bit, but kind of like veins. You know, it's black and white, but like I said, it looks like veins, and you can tell like there's a source of power coming from his arm. And this time, Asta's actually going to be, you know, in control. He's going to have his mind using the power from the demon. Now, from what we see Yami and Asta do to Dante, is it really going to be enough to beat Dante? Dante, he's like in-game boss right now. You know, we see Xenon, he won his fight. Venetia, she won her fight. But is Dante going to win? Like I said, I actually thought Yami was going to defeat Dante, you know, with probably causing his life, you know, or maybe losing his arm, you know, losing something important. Kind of like how, don't want to compare it to Naruto, but great example of what Jiraiya did to protect the Leaf Village. You know, he literally gave his life to give the information back to the Leaf Village, and that's what I actually thought Yami was going to do in this fight. I thought he was going to like sacrifice himself by killing Dante, but still losing his life to protect Asta and everyone else. But with all that being said, guys, I hear and see so many people comparing Naruto to Black Clover, but they're nothing alike. But in this arc, in this chapter, you have to admit it's very similar, but done so well. The Nine Tails, he never wanted to give Naruto his body or power. You know, he wanted to be released. He wanted to be free. He actually wanted to control Naruto. He wanted to make Naruto go on a rampage. Naruto had to defeat. He had to fight. He had to scrap and claw and beg for the power from the Nine Tails. Where Asta, on the other hand, he didn't have to beg. You know, him using the anti-magic swords in a world full of magic, the anti-magic sword gives off that anti-magic and it flows through his body, so he actually can wield magic, the anti-magic, like normal magic. But now, feeding from the demon himself, he's able to do so much more things, you know, like an extension of the blade, you know, half his body turns black, like he's gonna do so much more. But now he's truly going to get the power of the demon. What are we going to expect? You know, what is there to come? And I'm hyped for it. I'm truly hyped for it. I'm happy that Asta finally get to meet the demon. I just wish we would have got more dialogue, you know, more conversation between them two. But most likely they'll save that for another day. But what I can say, guys, with all that being said, how did you guys feel about the chapter? Drop some comments below. Let's talk it up in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, guys.